Hi, my name is Vincent Han, and today I'm going to show you a deployment walkthrough and demo on disaster recovery with NSX, SRM, and using a GSLB for the ingress traffic redirection. So let's go through the initial setup that we have here. So basically, we have the protected site, right, as well as the recovery site. We'll be using the SRM together with vCenter, vSphere, and then we have NSX over here. We'll be using universal objects for the uh, SRM and NSX setup, right? As for the host on the protected site, we'll use the locale ID to make sure that the VMs on the protected site uses the H gateway to exit in the protected site. Likewise, for the recovery site, we will configure the host on the using a locale ID for the recovery site so that the VMs, once they are in the recovery site, you will use the gateway to exit in the recovery site, right? As for the VMs, I have a two-tier application, basically a web VM as well as the database VM. Will be using the universal logical switch for communication, right? As well as the universal DLR for routing between the two logical switch. So in terms of the components, we have NSX, site recovery, and I'll be using vSphere replication for the replication of the VMs from the protected site to the recovery site. As you can see, I have two NSX managers being configured here, the primary on the protected side and a secondary NSX manager on the recovery side. This shows you what the logical switch, specifically the universal logical switch that are used in the demo, right? There are some for transit purposes as well as for the VMs, such as the Web20 and the DB20. So in terms of the creation of the universal Portgroup, is being created at both sides. So my VDS01 is actually at the protected site and the VDS02 is at the recovery site. Alright, so this is showing you the setup again. So basically, the configuration of the locale ID is configured using the NSX manager, right? As for the control VMs, it will be both deployed in the protected site as well as the recovery site. Alright, this shows the NAT on both my H services gateway, right? Things to note here, it's this is the IP address of the web virtual machine, right? And this is the address that is on the H services gateway, right? And on the protected side, it's 192.168.191.3, and as for the recovery side, it's 192.168.192.3. So the third octet is actually different. Okay. So I have a F5 GTM deployed as well. So basically, it acts as a DNS resolver for nsx.aspot.com, right? So if the VMs are predominantly at the protected site, so the GSLB will respond with the IP address of 192.168.191.3, right, for the protected site. So once there is a failover that happens using SRM, basically the placeholder VMs will boot up in the recovery site. You will see that the GSLB will give a response for a DNS resolve of nsx.aspot.com to 192.168.192.3. Alright, so things to take note here is the IP address of the web VMs as well as the database VM doesn't change. Right. So let's proceed with the demo. Alright. So what I have here is the vSphere web client. So before I show you the site recovery, I would like to show you the web VMs and the database VM that I spoke about. So as you can see, this web 2001 is actually my web VM having the IP address of 10.10.95.11. So let me log in, right? And let me show you the IP address of the database server over here, right, which is the DB20-01, right, and it's having the IP address of 10.10.96.11, right? So to make sure there's connectivity, let me do a ping to the database server on the web server. Yeah, we do have connectivity, and then what I can do here is do a SQL connection to the DB server. So you can see right, so the connection is true. Okay. So this app I normally use it for my events. So it's actually, can be accessed over, it's a web application. So I'm going to use a browser, and I'm going to go to my website, which is nsx.aspot.com. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use the testing, and then I'm going to put like SRM NSX GSLB, right? And I put key in some numbers over here, which is like maybe I put 88, right? And I submit. So this entry gets inserted into the database, right? Right, so it gets inserted the database. So if I go to the result page, right, by pulling it out, right, you should be able to see this entry. Right, so let me go back to the jump host again, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you the resolve, right, the DNS resolve. So what I have here is actually querying is nsx.aspot.com is showing 192.168.191.3, right? So if I were to able to log into my F5 GTM, right, under the GSLB pools, pool is under pool 1, you can see now it's green, which is active, and you will give the response of 192.168.191.3. Alright, so before I do a fail over using SRM, I'm going to do a continuous ping onto the gateway at the recovery site. Alright, so let me go into SRM. Right, I created a recovery plan for these two VMs application. Right, so let me run the recovery plan. Okay, as you can see, the recovery is in process. So let me go back to the vCenter one. Right, you can see that it's starting to do the gas shutdown for the two VMs. Right, and if I go to vCenter 2, you can see that this web VM should be booting up. Let me open the console. I can see up the boot up process. Okay, so you can see the pings are responding now, right? Alright, so let me log into the web and I do the same test as what I did before. Right, do a ping to the database server. Yep, so the Universal Distributed Logical Router, or the U-DLR, is working. And then let me do a SQL connection. Right, cool. Okay, and then if I goes back to the F5, right, and I do a refresh on the GTM, you can see now it's green on the 192.168.192.3, right? So if I goes back to do a NS lookup, you can see that it's giving me a 192.168.192.3, right? So the last test is testing, the web access to the application. So I goes back to my browser again, right? And then, you can see this is, let me do a refresh. You can see that, this is exactly the website, the entry that I have put just now. Alright, so as you can see, I did not change the IP address of the web VMs or the database VMs. The failure happens and the GSLB takes care of the ingress traffic redirection. Right, so this concludes the demo, and I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.